lowercase h. NASA. Funny how it affects some people more than others. Or rather, that the dissonance is stronger for others. Money to get the petrol. Take some pictures of my stuff, bro. I don't mind if you disagree. Let's spread the word. Flat Earthers are here saying that they're being lied to. We lived on a ball. Who lives underneath it? Or does the theory of relativity keep you on top? Everybody on top. I used to believe like you boys. You can't believe in gravity. Just because a pencil falls on the floor does not mean water is going to stick to the outside of a globe. That's nonsense. It cannot be proven. Cannot be proven. Sorry to say, but the government is here to lie to you. Government is here to lie to you. The sea is level. There's one sea level. One sea level on Earth. We live on a topographical plane. NASA faked the moon landings. NASA faked the moon landings and they faked the International Space Station in a swimming pool. You know, Tim Peake never went to space. Tim Peake was on harnesses when he did that little circus trick for you on Channel 4. Just because you see it on TV does not make it real. Sandra Bullock also went to space in a movie called Gravity. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Gravity is a hoax. Things are dense and they float or rise depending on their buoyancy of the medium they're in. You cannot prove the Earth is spinning.
God, okay, well, you know, is there a higher authority that we should answer to?
Do you mind defining?
That's, yeah, I don't tend to go for that, but that's fine. But no.
Well, I think that, I say to people that I think that whatever God is, it's residing in each of us. And we carry that scintilla of the Creator. And we are meant to therefore be at the microcosm level here. We are meant to be creating in that essence or in that vein. It's the same as the microorganisms in your body. If they're either creating for your good health or against it. Your microbiome. And so what we are doing is we're so worried about the people are being punished for the microbiome out there, but we're not being kind of informed about the microbiome and the importance of that. If your health comes from, your wellness comes from within, then that wellness will emanate outward. And eventually we as mankind, or God's essence, will find that loving dis-ease.
Exactly.
Yes, it's all dis-ease.
Thrilled and probably shocked
Thank you.
both ways, and I just couldn't believe that this really truly exists.
Okay. I met a guy, looks quite similar to you actually, 5 years ago in Hyde Park. He worked on a London tour bus. Guide, and he was wearing a uniform, and he approached me. I was in Mayfair, and I'd been writing on the street like this, and he walked past me because down there, 20 meters, I'd written down there as well, and then I was far up here, and he turned back from around there, and he said, "Hey, is this true?" I said, "Yes, brother." He said, "Yes!" He's got a coffee in his hand. He threw the coffee into the street like this. I knew it was true. I knew it was true, and he ran off. He was so thrilled to know. And a young lady did the same for me in Trafalgar Square, man. It was over the moon to go, wow, man. I thought it, and in fact, just the other day, a young schoolgirl said, no, I know we're not spinning. And you know how it messes with your mind when you believe.
Does, actually, and it messes up with everything.
Yes.
Not just your mind, but it messes up with your entire being and everything. And I'm so surprised to have this. So my culture and my background tells me everything is in me.
Awesome.
everything. Don't look for that out there. It's in you. Yeah, and if you really want to be good, it's in there.
Yes.
Yeah, you are God.
Yes.
My dad told me all the time. But this is a big surprise.
If everything's truly standing still, as Einstein's actually said, then actually, if we turn it, and then things only move if you apply force. So if you actually sent a ball through space, for example, it would actually fly exactly the same speed, dependent on the force that I applied to it, forever until it came across something else to act as a force on it. I mean, that's Newtonian physics.
Okay, so yeah.
But the fact is that Einstein and quantum mechanics is so weird that actually our whole reality is very different. So perhaps it might be worthwhile doing some research on quantum mechanics
I have, actually.
and the nature
And I
of
found
reality.
and I found that quantum mechanics works well with the electromagnetic theory, which is what I try and talk on, is that we are electromagnetic beings inside of an electromagnetic torus.
Well,
so let me talk for a little while.
Again,
You've
I
had the mic for a
understand that
while.
every
Let me talk for a little
single
while.
object in the universe
Ma'am, I know
has-
you're a teacher, but
No, I
I'm
know, but
here
a
on the
maths,
street
a
to
maths,
teach.
but I'm actually
So
saying
have
you're
you
right.
repeat back-
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
I know
thank you.
this.
Thank
You're
you.
right, because
Well-
everything that has mass actually has a frequency.
Yes.
So you have a frequency.
Yes.
But the reason you can't move through a wall is because your frequency is lower, is so significantly lower than your mass. So it's actually a sliding scale. So actually, if you're an electron, you have virtually no mass, which means that you can act as a particle and a wave, and that's because the frequency and the mass are completely the other way around.
The double
So
slit.
actually, the double slit experiment. So what you've said is true. So
Well,
yeah,
thank
you're
you.
right.
Well, I think
So
that it's
what-
I think
what
that
you've
it's an
done is-
electromagnetic universe. But see, but when people hear about flat Earth, they're thinking that it's a pancake in space. When that's not what anybody thinks. So what we think is that it's that, like the ancients believe, ancient cultures that were higher than us believed that it was an inclusive.
This experiment is quite famous, where you can put all different objects into this mixture here, and things will float at their own level of buoyancy. And so that's all. If I made that test tube 1,000,000 or 1,000 kilometers wide, I would still have the same principles of things are settling in strata at levels, diving or going up into the upper stratosphere. I know pilot friends who know that they're not allowing for any curvature. We try to measure this curvature of the water and so on. So I'm just challenging these things with people, and because we have been indoctrinated since we were all young to say, this is how it works, this is where you live, and this is principally, this is my main reason, this is who you are, because I have no religion to say, but I am saying to people that I think that there is a creator, and that creator resides in you, resides in each of us. And that's really the root of my message, is that we are all one, and we shouldn't be divided by our religious or national or whatever, because these things are programs that have been layered on us to try and control us, maybe. And all I'm saying
I don't want to be rude, but I've got to go to my next call now. But I appreciate you taking the time to tell me what you've been telling other people about, because now I can update the report to say that I think a disturbance was an exaggeration of what's gone on. But in future, if you get people giving you abuse, rather than giving abuse back and then that eliciting if that elicits a call to the police and then a policeman has to turn up and talk to you, if you get abuse, then call us and let us deal with that, rather than giving abuse back.
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean, people call me names all the time, and it's just
Yeah,
part of
report
the
that if it
the
happens
thing.
and let us deal with it.
You know what? It's like if I was stepping out of a religion, people around me would say, "Oh, you're crazy, man," and call me all sorts of names. So I know that that's part of the. I travel around the country and do this quite a bit. So. And I was a little loud, but a bit more theatrical, and I'm never saying to someone, because I know that if I harm you, I'm harming God and myself. I actually, and in that game, reality, or that version of reality, is that harm I do to you is harm I do to myself, and I try and conduct myself in that way. But sometimes people are that rude that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to tell you off. Not to swear at them, but just to say, hey, all you're believing in is this idea of this and this and this. I'm not trying to force anyone. Just say, hey, just go and look at the work, research it yourself.
Okay.
Do you want my...
I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to, because I'm completely neutral in all of this.
You must stay
but I
neutral.
wanted
Keep it over mine, brother.
I wanted to get an understanding of what you were preaching, for want of a better word. So now I have. So I'll update the report to say that there's no further police action needed, and I wish you well. Have a good day. Nice to meet you. Take care.
Are you trying to say, excuse me, what do you think of Kyrie Irving apologising for thinking the earth was flat?
Yeah, he was put under a lot of pressure to say that.
But he's not the type to apologise.
No, much respect respect to Kyrie Irving.
You spot Kyrie Irving?
Yeah. Much respect, Kyrie. And he came out in like 2018, 2017.
saying I'm sorry.
Yeah.
sorry
But I can assure you, I mean, I've seen the man talk. I know for sure that he'd been put under pressure.
Kyrie,
Kyrie's the man. He's
Kyrie's
cool,
my
man.
goal. Kyrie's my goal.
Okay. Respect Kyrie. Much respect Kyrie Irving.
It's round. You will find out. It's round.
Yeah, like a table.
Yeah, no.
Like a table is round. Frisbee. Yeah, sure.